What comes to your mind when you hear the words Stone Age? Do you think of people hunting mammoths with spears? Telling stories, sitting around the fire? And painting on the walls of caves? If so, you'd be right. But there is much more to the Stone Age than just that. Let's find out more about it. The Stone Age is the earliest period of human culture. It officially began almost 3 million years ago, when researchers found the earliest evidence of humans using stone tools. This period was called the Stone Age because tools were mainly made of stone. It is typically divided into 3 distinct periods: the Paleolithic period, the Mesolithic period, and the Neolithic period. The Paleolithic is the earliest and longest of the Stone Age periods, starting when early humans appeared in Africa about 2.5 million years ago, and lasting until roughly 12,000 years ago. The Paleolithic means Old Stone Age. Humankind gradually evolved from early representatives of the genus Homo into anatomically modern humans. Homo habilis was the first true human species to evolve from apes. Homo erectus had long legs, which they used to walk considerable distances. Homo erectus were probably the first to learn to control fire and cook food. Neanderthals were the most commonly found extinct human species. By about 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens were the last human species surviving on Earth. No other species seemed to be able to compete with how advanced we grew to be. The Paleolithic people formed small communities, often referred to as tribes. Most Stone Age people used caves more as motels, staying in them overnight and then moving on. During the Paleolithic, people were nomadic, which means they moved around from place to place in search of food. In general, they spent their time on direct subsistence activities, gathering edible plants along the way, fruits, berries, and nuts. They also dug up roots. For a sweet treat, they took honey from wild beehives and collected eggs from birds' nests. Hunting was not yet common, and the meat was eaten raw. Animals were found already dead, and their meat was scavenged. At the very beginning of the period, Paleolithic stone tools were very basic. People made them in a primitive way. One stone was struck with another until pieces broke off, making a sharp edge. In time, the Stone Age people started attaching handles to stones. This is how primitive hand axes made of stones appeared. Animals that roamed the earth during the Stone Age include woolly mammoths, woolly rhinos, musk oxen, cave bears, and giant deer. They were the source of bones, horns, skins, and of course furs. The Stone Age people used animal skins and furs to make clothes. Later, people began to fasten long strips of leather around their clothing to hold it in place. Around 47,000 years ago, awls began to be used to join pieces together. In the Paleolithic, people made decorations from shells, teeth, stones, and animal claws. About 500,000 years ago, people discovered fire. It is thought that they rubbed 2 sticks together, then they learned to strike stones together to produce sparks. Fire use reduced mortality rates and provided protection against predators. People living in caves decorated their walls with pictures of animals. Carvings found on stone walls mostly show giant bulls, stags, horses, and bison. It seems that prehistoric humans believed that by creating images of potential game pierced by a hunter, they ensured a successful hunt. Now it's time for the Mesolithic. The Mesolithic was the second period of the Stone Age. The Mesolithic means Middle Stone Age. By this time, some humans would have given up the nomadic lifestyle and started to build permanent dwellings near bodies of water. They built huts and shelters from wooden frames or frames made from animal bones and covered them with animal hides. The Mesolithic saw the development of finer, smaller stone tools such as arrows or spearheads. With their help, hunting became much easier. There were also bows and arrows. These weapons made it possible to hunt deer, wild boars and birds more effectively. During this period, fishing began to develop as a form of subsistence activity. New tools were created for fishing, such as hooks, harpoons, and fishing nets. Exploration of water expanses brought about the first rafts and boats. It is during the Mesolithic period that dogs are believed to have been domesticated. Dogs could help with the hunt, warn of danger, and give warmth and comfort. Now let's look at the Neolithic. The Neolithic period is the final stage of cultural evolution and technological development among prehistoric humans. The Neolithic means New Stone Age. It began when some groups of humans gave up the nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle completely to begin farming. This was the so-called Neolithic Revolution, since it drastically changed the way of life for most of humanity. Neolithic people were skilled farmers, manufacturing a range of tools necessary for the tending, harvesting and processing of crops. Neolithic farmers developed tools such as plows to help them with their work. Cattle breeding was taken up too. Animals such as sheep, goats and pigs were domesticated and provided a ready supply of meat, milk and wool. The domestication of animals, along with the beginning of farming, led to humans staying in one place for longer periods of time. Settlements became more permanent. People settled together in villages. Villages gradually developed into organized communities, where food was stored and material goods were traded. The Neolithic was characterized by the appearance of such crafts as pottery, basketry, and weaving. The invention of the wheel is the most remarkable of that time. The Stone Age ended when humans began working with metal and making tools and weapons from bronze. That was the start of the Bronze Age, but this we will talk about next time.